we have 3 more to go, and I'll hand out the 2 homeworks. So I'm going to talk very quickly, and what I've tried to do was make sure everything that I'm talking about is in the different handouts. So I'm going to let Nancy hand that one out, and then we have one more.
We're doing shadows first.
No, I'm going to just quickly go through notes, labels, plants, and then we'll do shadows. Okay, so here were some examples that I just wanted to make sure everybody understood what a note is on a set of plants. This is a note. This could be a note. These are labels, actually. Let me get this correct here. It has a little leader line that goes in and explains where the slope is steep at 9% over 45 feet, or that this is a non-native plant and we want to remove it. So these are the notations along the side, and it has a leader line showing what it's going to on a plan. Those are labels. If you have notes that talk about this is a site summary, for example, or there's a legend. These are the labels of a construction drawing, of a detail drawing. I'm just trying to skip around here. A notation that this was the ceiling fan, or this was the gate, and the detail that showed what kind of hardware it went to, or this was the rain garden. So these are all things that on your plan you can pull out if this is your driveway and you want it to be a paver driveway, however you want your design to look like on this drawing for the guests or whoever you want the residents to be.
Give them a name.
That's part of it. You make up your client as you go along. This was always part of the fun to me of doing the homework was, oh, I'm designing this for my neighbors, the Pacinis, and so I know Louise likes pink flowers, and I put in bounteous amounts of pink flowers, and I made notations about what flowers that they were.
Right.
So
this is imaginary.
these are all just
this is cool. You
examples.
can make some of this up.
If this wasn't labeled, it would be pretty hard to know that this was a boardwalk, or that this was the gateway, or this was the parking. So the labels all give a drawing another dimension, basically, of explanation, so that when you hand this plan to somebody and you walk away and you're not in the room anymore, your drawing is perfectly explained. You don't have to be there. That client will know that this needs 6 inches of gravel, or that the pool is 8 feet deep here. You have to label everything, whether it's a seat wall or a fireplace or existing cherry tree. All these notations are you speaking in a graphic example. Whether it's a car, so that you can see whether you can back in, and by adding this extra space, is there enough room for that car to turn around and then go back out this very narrow, deep driveway.
So compared to the one you're doing at home, this one is the closest, I think. You know, it's got labels that are, you know, pulled out to the side, so you can do it that way, or you can do it the way these are. Some of these are written right over top of it. We're not grading you on whether your labels are in the perfect place, or whether or not you've picked out the right plants or anything like that. It's just, are you piling up all these little tidbits that we're giving you, and then are your drawings starting to tell a little bit more of a story? So title blocks. Julie gave you a bunch of different kinds of title blocks. The ones that you did for today all had a certain list of information, and Julie had you doing them in a certain way. You can adjust those a little bit, but they still have to have the same information. And you can Google title block and see 4,000 different ways to do a title block. But there should be a title block. There should be dimensions. There should be the trees and plants that you've learned to do, but now you've got to go bigger. So use your textbooks to see different ways to do the larger, and the 2 canopy trees. And the 2 canopy trees, you may want to just have the outlines, because you want to be able to see what's under them. Unless there isn't anything, but probably there is.
Okay. So, is that all make sense? Any quick questions? Okay, shadows. Why do we put shadows on a drawing in the first place? Well, Reed has a really nice write-up on it, starts on page 87, and I'm just going to highlight a few things. It adds dimension of depth. It shows what the direction of the sun was for the drawing. And typically, I love this description too, that it shows use the light coming down from above. It's important to cast the shadows down to either the left or to the right. That would only really be in the southern hemisphere. I love this, the whole little quirk about it, because we're of course in the northern hemisphere here in Virginia, but we actually typically show the shadows either to the left or to the right. So I'm going to use my template here to show you a tree. So here is I very carefully drawn my tree in, and my shadow is either it's clearly going to go to the bottom, and it's either going to go to the left or to the right. I'm just trying to,
But not both.
but not both. So how do I do this? I take my template, and here's my tree, here's my outline. Now I just slide this. I'm going to choose to make mine over to the right. And then here's my little crescent moon. And
In the handout Julie gave you,
I have a shadow.
this is a great explanation of the way to do it. And you can use the triangle to create the exact dimensions, but when you think about the drawings that you did, you could try using your homework assignment from last week and just try, of all those little, you could try, okay, I'm going to do a shadow on this. Let's try doing shadows on these. And all of a sudden, you start to get the hang of it. You can also do them the way they're in here, that it's the same shape, but they actually use the triangle to do them.
So if this is my deciduous tree, and I just use my circle template, so now I've come back in and added some contour to it, so it looks more like a tree instead of just a circle. Then you want your shadow to represent that too. So I'm just using that same irregular hand on the outside of it to make the shadow look like the sun's coming this way and it's casting a shadow this way. Quickly too, just if this was, there's my circle template again. If this is a conifer, you can make a conifer really quickly by doing your cross hatches across. This is a deciduous, and then here's your conifer. And the other thing that I do typically, this is because this is my style of conifer, is I just do a sloopy line on the outside, and that becomes my conifer. But a conifer is not like a deciduous tree. Here's my deciduous tree. Here's my conifer. So my shadow's different also. So again, my sun's coming this way. So I bring it out as a cone and draw it in. That's my shadow.
And what's the page that you copied right there?
That's it starts on 87 and it goes through 92.
And page 91 in the Read book shows the difference between the two different copies of the same plan, one that shows with shadow and one that doesn't. So you can see how it sort of brings it a little bit alive for the person that's looking at it going, oh, okay. Because when people first start looking at a plan, they go, what are these round things here? And what am I looking at? But it starts to get another dimension when they realize, oh, it's going to be tall and it's going to have a shadow. So later when you start figuring out how tall a tree is, then how long the shadow might be, it starts to have even a little bit more drama in it.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you decide how many to, because I'm assuming you don't shadow everything. So you just do it on bigger trees, or
typically you do the building, and typically you do any of the larger canopy trees. But it's nice to do it around the shrubbery as well.
In the
if you
textbook, it
had
shows, yeah.
a hedge along here, you might have a shadow line, you know, along, this is not a very good position because it's right up against the fence line here, but it would cast a shadow clearly. It depends on how large the element is. The little bitty things, it's too much. So reserve it as to use emphasis on your page.
So you said the shadow goes around bigger objects?
Yes.
Okay.
But do read your textbook, and then it'll make a little bit more sense.
Right.
Okay.
Reed is recommending that you use solid black or a dark gray. I like the dark gray markers, and because they have a chisel point too, it's really easy on a drawing to be able to get that chiseled line, which is not drawing exactly. But you can also cross hatch it, but it looks better if it's one or the other, not both. Okay, so that's a quick description of shadows. Any
Very
questions? Okay, then I have two more goodies for you, and we have 10 minutes left, and we'll get finished on time. So, the lettering homework for this week, there we go. Also, it's two-sided. We'll start with that. So, I took the Reed alphabet and blew it up really big so that I could show you little tiny arrows of how I'm actually doing each letter. And I'm going to move right here so you can still see. So if it's an A, my first little mark is, that's the 1, 2, and then I go this way. There's all sorts of theories about this. This is just simply the way I was taught, and so I'm sharing with you all. This has been really successful for me, and I've been drafting since 1972, so a long time ago. The oval shape of the O is one I want to spend some time quickly on. And this is an acquired, learned skill. It's not a circle, it's an oval. And I go around to the left and then back to the right. So I tried to show it that if you practice the C over and over and over in these ovally shapes, and then come back and connect it, that's how you practice your zeros or O's. That then translates into the shape of the B and the P and the R and the S and the G. G, thank you.
And Q.
So this, I would love to see a page of, and I'm so sorry, but that's what it takes. It's a learned skill. You all can do this. So,
How many pages are they doing?
3 pages, pencil leads, any pencil leads, 3 pens, any. Do 3 different pages. I'm suggesting you do it on brown paper. This week you don't have to use your aims, and next week we'll come back with a better explanation, or I'll see if I can pop it on Blackboard for you so we can have it in between. So graph paper is your friend. Use the graph paper as leaving a space between each one. So fill 1 page with freehand lettering, any freehand lettering. Use your triangle. Here's my T-square. Use your triangle for all your horizontal, verticals. So you're still using, you're just keeping this, your left hand on the triangle, you're going to become best friends, and you're just going to stay right there on the T-square or the May line if you have a May line at home.
Unless you're left-handed.
Oh, yes. All right, so this is your best friend here, okay?
I think there's three lefties.
But try it, because I haven't let you use a straight edge before. People love it, but to be confident, I want you to be able to do it freehand, okay? So I make you practice, and I'm mean about it. So,
Question for you.
beg pardon?
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
On this writing assignment, the 7 is the European 7, and the ones that we're doing, the angles are straight.
You caught me. I'm so bad. I always cross my sevens. I picked this up in college, and I haven't been able to stop. So you don't have to cross your seven.
Can we cross our second? That's how I like it.
I'm happy to have you do it either way.
What does the director say?
I cross my
Um,
sevens.
Yeah. Okay, so then fill a third page with either with a straight edge or without. It's just the fact that I want you to fill 3 pages, okay? Sketching exercise is this one. Nancy, please. Okay, so I tried to give you an example. Start with your warm-up. Use 2, a pen and your thickest marker. Woohoo, I'm going to push the margins here. You have to use something big and bulky to sketch with because nobody uses that. And it's interesting what you get with a big, thick marker. So let's try it. Fill 3 pages in your sketchbook, your choice. I don't care if it's a bench, your flower, your cousin, whoever. You try to use 6 different techniques from Travis, a negative study or perspective or any of them. Just experiment. The reading is in Travis, goes all the way into the perspective drawings, and we will talk about that a little bit next week, but much more on week 6. So we're just trying to expose everybody to all the different techniques. And
So
here's
is
an
there
example.
a specific shadowing homework exercise or
No,
just
there is not. But you could try it in the one I erased that's Nancy's assignment. Okay?
Well, her assignment does say shadow,
Okay, thank you.
because one of them is a shadow.
Julie, can they try? The question is graph paper for number 2 on the lettering because.
Oh, yes, it's graph paper for all 3.
Well, the question is, why do you need to use the triangle if you've already got vertical lines on it?
Because you're learning a new technique.
I didn't ask a question.
Yeah.
And it was Donna. Donna is messing up, but you know, the graph paper, the lines are really light. I mean, and I don't know if you bought 1/4-inch graph paper or 1/8-inch graph paper, or I think they even have 16th. But so so your inking is going to be over top.
This is actually harder than it looks. So try it. Or Jade, try it.
When it will really help is when all of a sudden you want to do some letters that are like 3 inches high. This helps a lot.
Big
Right.
letters,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And the letters I suggested at, maybe I didn't get it on there. Ooh, you get to choose well, it was either 1/8 or 1/4-inch. There was the type of graph paper.
Do you need title blocks in all of them?
Title block on my
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. On the Smith residence, Barsuta Drive, whatever. Yeah.
Okay? Question?
Brain dead?
Uh-huh.
Email your questions to them if you have questions about the homework assignment as the week progresses.
Right, and email both of us. Sometimes
It's okay.
people send them just to Julie, and she answers probably faster than I do. But, yeah, and then she'll answer and she'll show me that she answered, so we don't both answer the same person.
Okay. Thanks, you're all doing a great job.
Okay.
Okay.
These are 3 assignments.